deserve on this one?
Not much. If I had to put a percent on it, Skip, I'd say somewhere between 5 and 10. And the reason why I picked this team to go to the Super Bowl, to represent the AFC in the Super Bowl, Skip, is that I felt they had gotten better on defense, and they've gotten absolutely worse. They fired Bob Sutton, brought in Spagnuolo, who was the defensive coordinator for the Giants when they won the Super Bowl, when they upset, excuse me, I'm sorry about that, Jen, when they upset the Patriots, Skip, in 2007 at the Super Bowl. Skip, it's bad. And they gave up 192 yards rushing. And what happens is, and everybody says, well, the Lions gave you the blueprint of how you stop Patrick Mahomes. No, they didn't. You know what the blueprint is, Skip? Keep Mahomes' ass on the bench. They possessed the ball almost 20 more minutes than the Chiefs. Skip, I've never seen anything like this before. In the second half, the Chiefs had the ball less than 6 minutes. In the second half, they had the ball for a grand total of 1 minute and 25 seconds in the fourth quarter. I've never seen it. In 14 years of playing, in all my years of covering, I've never seen anything like that. 36 more plays. Deshaun Watson came into the game, one of the most sacked quarterbacks. He was top 4 in being sacks, and they didn't touch him. They're dead last in sacks. And what happens is, Skip, is that Mahomes got to take unnecessary risks sometimes because he knows if they punt the football, he's about to sit on the bench for another 6 to 8 minutes. They had the lead, and what did Deshaun Watson do? 93 yards, 8.5 minutes off the clock. And that's the way you beat Patrick Mahomes, is that you minimize his possessions. I think they had 3 possessions in the second half. Skip, that's not enough. They can't run the football. And it's not that they don't try, but at some point in time, they just, like Andy says, just forget it. Let's just throw. But I give Bill O'Brien a lot of credit, and I give the Colts credit. And what you're starting to see, Skip, last year they would jump out on teams 21-3, 24-7, and everybody would abandon the run and start throwing. And the next thing you know, Skip, a 21-3 is all of a sudden 31-6, 34-10. But Bill O'Brien said no. He kept bringing Carlos Hyde, And what that does is that Patrick Mahomes has found his rhythm. Now, let him sit over there and cool off. Let him see how it feels when he comes back after 8.5 minutes. And that's what they did. Nickel and dime, boom. Deshaun Watson, very elusive, picking up first down with his legs, throwing the ball, even with the turnovers. But, Skip, I'm going to give Mahomes because he fumbled. I think he had 1 fumble, and he threw an interception. But this defense is terrible. They're worse than what they were last year, and I thought they would be better. Honey Badger had 10 tackles. Skip, you don't want your safety having 10 tackles. That means, you know what? Your first line of defense is not getting it done. Frank Clark has been an absolute bust. They got rid of D Ford, and the reason they got rid of D Ford, Skip, they felt he was better suited for a 3-4 linebacker stand-up as opposed to Frank Clark playing 4-3 DN with his hand in dirt. That's what Spagnuolo coaches. So, okay, but Skip, it's been a failure. They got rid of their top 3 sackers from last year, and they can't get any pressure. Chris Jones missed yesterday. They can't stop the run. They can't rush the passer. That's a recipe for finishing last in the league and not go. And if you make the playoffs, you'll be one and done.
Did I just hear Shannon Sharp concede on his Super Bowl pick of the Chiefs? So are you surrendering that?
No. I'm saying, Skip, at the rate they're playing, if you can't play defense any better than this, even if you make the playoffs, Skip, I still believe they're going to represent the AFC West. So you get a home game, but you'll be one and done.
Okay. But are you saying they're going to be one and done, so you're conceding your Super Bowl pick?
If they don't play any better defensively.
Okay. Do you see them getting better?
They got to improve. I believe they can improve.
Well, I'm again baffled by this because you've been telling me for weeks that Mahomes is the runaway MVP, and I'm not seeing that.
Hold on, Skip.
I'm not seeing that.
So over the first 4 weeks, he was not the runaway MVP when they was 4-0? I'm missing something.
I'm missing something the last 3 weeks because Detroit made him look mortal, and then the Colts at Arrowhead made him look, dare I say, bad. And then yesterday, if he's Mahomes, if he's the runaway MVP, you got to cash in more on the chances that you did get, because you always ask me, what did your quarterback do? That's all I heard in the A block of this show. Well, who cares about the defense? What did the quarterback do when he did have the ball? Well, let's see the first touchdown pass that he did throw. It was early in the game, and it was a 42-yarder to
Tyreek.
Tyreek. Could we see this play? So he just throws it up for grabs once again into double coverage. That ball should have been intercepted by both defensive backs at once. And the first one jumps too soon, and Tyreek goes and hangs in the air for what seemed like 5 seconds. I've never seen anything quite like that. And steals it from 2 Chiefs. Is that an ill-advised throw? You better believe it is. Is that the kind of throw he gets away with consistently? Yep, that's what happens under Andy Reid because he's got the greenest light in the history of pro football.
It was a flag on the defense, so he knew he had a throwaway.
All right. Well, again, should he throw it up for grabs like that? I wouldn't.
Oh, yeah, if you got a flag, yeah, might not go for the gusto.
All right. So here's the point of this game. You're right about the time of possession. It was the lowest time of possession that the home team has had in the history of the Kansas City Chiefs. As many home games as they played dating to 1963, they've never had fewer snaps at home, fewer time of possession.
Yes.
So the point is that he did get sacked and fumbled and lost it. So you got to dock him for that.
Yes.
And he did throw an interception, nearly that one, but he did throw an interception, and so that's another possession. And they did punt twice, so you had 2 other chances in what was a 1-score game to cash in, and you didn't. So, again, you gave him, what, 5% of the blame?
5 to 10, yeah.
5 to 10%?
Who had a high court QBR, him or Dak?
Okay. Thank you for asking. Dak did.
No, my guy played better than your guy.
Okay. Well, no. You just asked a question. I answered it.
Your guy,
my guy had a higher one. It was 74 to 61. I think my guy had significantly higher. And thank you for making that point for me, so I didn't have to gratuitously throw it into the conversation.
Your guy threw no touchdown.
Okay.
For the second,
my guy threw into the end zone to tie the game at the end from 2 yards out. And your guy had a possession in the fourth quarter. And it was a bizarre fourth quarter because the time possession was 14 minutes to 1 minute.
Thank you.
Why did the Chiefs have only 1 minute? Because my homeboy, who I think you're going to have to rename him, by the way, because my homeboy is losing at home. That's 2 in a row he's lost at home. Maybe you should nickname him my road boy, right?
No,
how about that? My road boy.
He gonna be
you can
fine.
call him my road dog.
No,
I don't care what you want to call him. You can call him any of those
you
things.
laughing? Okay.
Yeah, well,
You
that's
laughing now.
okay, so what happened on the one series that they did have? By the way, they lost in first downs 10-0 in the fourth quarter.
Yes.
Total yards were 145 to -3. Why was that? Because he did have one series, did Patrick, my homeboy, and it was a quick 3 and out because he flipped it to LaShawn, and that went for -4. Then he handed it to LaShawn. That was 1 yard. And then on 3rd and 13, he threw it to Blake Bell. I didn't even Blake Bell was on that team. The old Belldozer from the University of Oklahoma, backup tight end.
I didn't know either.
Okay, so he throws it to Blake Bell, incomplete. And those are your 3 and out, and that's why they had only 1 minute. Well, if you're, all I've heard from you is this kid is transcended.
He is.
He is revolutionizing the way the game is played. Well, if you're that guy, if you're the runaway MVP, if you're going on immortal, if you're like a video game come to life, then
you still need the ball.
You got to cash.
You
had the ball. You had 3 tries to go score. It's a 1-score game. It's 31 to 24.
That's again.
That's what you always tell me about Dak. He's got to go score, right?
Sean Watson had a drive. He put the drive together.
He did.
93 yards,
12 plays.
8.5 minutes.
Yeah.
That's longer than Patrick Mahomes had the ball the entire second half. He had 1 drive.
Okay. But he did cough it up once, twice, right?
Yes.
And they did have 2 other times they had to punt. So there are 4 opportunities in a 1-score game where if you're transcendent, you just take the game over. I mean, because I'm just listening to the Hall of Famer.
Yes.
So if he's that great and you're at home at Arrowhead with the crowd on your side, you got to cash in some of this.
Skip,
Come on.
Skip, let's be real. Give Patrick Mahomes the Patriots defense. And how many games you think he lose? Because that's what Tom Brady's playing with. Stop this foolishness, Skip.
It's not foolishness. If he's that great, if he's way better than anybody, then against a team that's not a great team, and it's not a great defense that Houston has, it just isn't. It hasn't been great all year.
Who?
Houston.
No.
Not great.
No, but I'm saying, let me ask you a question. Whose defense is better, the Texans or the Chiefs?
Well, obviously, the Texans is better than the Chiefs.
Thank you.
Okay, but who's the better quarterback? You've been telling me Mahomes is way better than Deshaun. What did I tell you? I think it was on Friday.
Yeah.
I told you, long term, I'm taking Deshaun Watson. I believe in his intangibles, in the clutch and as a leader. And they were on full display because as a playmaker yesterday, he just kept converting third downs.
Yes.
Here, right. And then converting touchdowns, sometimes twice with his legs.
But, Skip, when you look at it, if you go back over the history and you look at guys that have won multiples, and we look at the Joe Montanas when he beat Elway and Marinos and some of the other guys, what did he have that they didn't? Solid defenses. You look at Tom Brady. What did he have that other teams didn't? Solid defenses.
Okay, but there have been a lot of times Tom Brady has not had a solid defense, and he has been extraordinary.
Tom Brady
carried that team.
Skip, Tom Brady only 3 times. Now he's in year 20. 3 times have he had a defense finished outside the top 10 in points allowed. 3 times. 3 times.
Did you see the Super Bowl 2 years ago? Did you see what happened? Do you remember that?